Good afternoon, everyone. It's 2:30. This is the grants subcommittee. I think, are there any apologies for absence?
Just Councillor Liz Perry, who may be joining us depending on her new laptop working.
And a connection. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So welcome everybody. If Liz is the only apology, and that is problematical, there is no urgent business that I've been notified of. The public speaking time, I would propose that we call the members of the public to their specific application rather than do it in advance. Now, are there any declarations of interest on any of the items on this agenda? No. In that case, we go straight into our applications. As we have got two speakers, I would propose that we ask our speakers and their applications to be heard before the others. And the first one we've got is Charlie Woodman, which is the a junior person's sporting activity. And our guest speaker is Charlie's mother, Mrs. Woodman, and you're very welcome. Would you lead us through Charlie's proposal, please?
Yeah, well, I'll give you a little bit of a background, really. Charlie's 15 years old. She started playing basketball when she was nine, and she's really gone from strength to strength. She's recently been selected as England captain, and within the last couple of weeks, she's made the GB squad. And well, the proposal is really to help with the cost, because as you can imagine, as she's getting more of an elite athlete, the cost is just going up and up, with the cost of camps, transport, hotels, yeah, just generally everything just costs a lot of money.
Yes.
This weekend she's got a 3-day camp with GB in Nottingham, so it's about £150 for the camp, plus obviously fuel up there. Then the following week she's up in Blackpool for 3 days. So it's about £90 fuel plus hotels and obviously the camp fees again. And then after that, hopefully she'll be selected to go to the European Championships, which will be held in Montenegro. She'll go to a training camp for 8 days before, which will be held in Serbia. So we've been told the cost for that trip is about £600. Yeah, so, and obviously she's, for England, she went abroad and played in Spain, and she went to Serbia, and the cost of those trips, well, one trip was £285, and one of the other one we had to pay a contribution for another £200. So yeah, we would just like a little bit of help really towards the cost, as yeah, and we're predicting really that on average, probably for the season, because she still trains in Bristol, so we take her to Bristol 3 times a week. That's just for her club training, and plus all the additional international stuff is on top. Yeah. So
thank you, and all good luck to her. So far, she has achieved so much. Members, are there any questions you'd like to ask Mrs. Woodman? Lee, your question, please.
First of all, Mrs. Woodman, you are an amazing parent for doing what you do, and supporting Charlie, and she sounds like an amazing person. I have tried to turn my camera on, so it might play catch up in a minute. I apologise for not being, but there you go. A couple of points really. Charlie fits the grant criteria perfectly, and I have no issues or problems with proposing it, should the chair be willing to take that proposal. But what I wanted to come in for really was just to say, I've just posted in the chat, so before you leave, if you copy and paste that, so that I'm not sure where you live, but I see that Charlie plays for the Bucks, but the Bridgewater Town Council has a youth grant that you might want to try and tap into.
right. Yeah, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, in the chat I put it there for you if you want it, so you can go for that. But otherwise, yeah, Charlie sounds like an amazing young person, and that's what these individual grants are made for. So I've got no problem in supporting the proposal. And Chair, should anyone else be willing to come in after me, I'm happy to propose it as well.
Thank you, Lee. That is helpful.
Yeah, she started at Bridgewater Bucks when she was 9, and obviously now she plays in Bristol, but she goes back on a Friday night to coach the youngsters, because that's where she started. So she coaches the under-10s now on a Friday.
Thank you. Brian, you've got your hand up.
Just to say, I'd like to second that Lee's proposal.
Thank you. Polly, you're indicating?
Not anymore, thanks, Chair. I was going to do what Brian was going to do.
Thank you. If there are no other questions, oh, Lee, do you want to come back because your hand is still up? As a legacy.
Legacy, Chair, sorry.
No. Well, congratulations to Charlie for so far for her achievements. Now, this proposal is asking for £500. It has been proposed by Lee, and it is seconded by Brian. Would anyone please, are there any dissenters or abstentions? In that case, we take it that this is unanimously agreed.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Chairman.
And would you ask Charlie to keep us informed of all further progress, because we are right behind her.
Yeah, of course I will. I mean, she has got an Instagram page that
We don't all do social media.
But no, of course, yeah, no, she will.
Thank
she
you.
Made a presentation that she did at a local primary school when she was on work experience last week. So I'm sure at some point she'll probably like to present that to you.
Thank you. Now, you don't have to leave. If you would like to stay and observe the rest of the meeting, you're very welcome to do so.
I'll probably leave if that's okay, because I just have to go and collect my son from preschool.
Thank you. Well, it's
Thank
very
you.
nice to have met you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Goodbye. Our second speaker, Mr. White, has arrived. So if it's all right with everyone, we go straight to the Guy Fawkes. I've got to find it on my doodah. The Bridgewater Guy Fawkes Carnival.
Page 13 in the agenda, Chairman.
Yes. For some reason, it doesn't bookmark on this one, so I have to do it page by page. Now, members, this is what a specific activity, and the grant request is for £1,857.50. Their representative, Mr. White, is with us. You're very welcome, Mr. White. It's nice to meet you. Would you lead the members through your application, please?
Yes, thank you, Councillor. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Duncan White. I'm the Event Safety Director with Bridgewater Guy Fawkes Carnival, and also a trustee of the charity. The application before you is in relation to the provision of 2 automatic defibrillators. One for the provision on Bristol Road, which is the Carnival Park, where the majority of our entries for the carnival from the Bridgewater based clubs are located. What we're looking to provide down there is a heated cabinet with an automatic defibrillator. We are seeing at the height of the build season up to 250 people of all ages down at the site, and with the current timescales in relation to the stretching of the NHS provision, we're looking to enhance the welfare of our members and visitors to the site by providing a defibrillator that's available 24 hours a day on that site. In addition to that, to provide additional protection to carnival communities and people attending carnival events, we're looking to provide a defibrillator which will be mobile, which can be taken to all the Sedgemoor carnivals and also to any event related to carnival within the Sedgemoor area. So there is a defibrillator on site should a member of the public or the carnival community suffer any form of cardiac arrest. I'm happy to take any. The bid is for 50% of the overall total of the cost of this, providing these equipment.
Thank you. Members, are there any questions for Mr. White? No one, everyone is perfectly clear and obviously entirely satisfied with the explanations, the reasons, etc. In that case, if there are no questions, may I have a proposer that this bid for £1,857.50 is agreed? And that's Lee Redman has proposed. Is there a seconder? Councillor Brian Bolt. If there are no further questions, are there any dissenters or abstentions? No. In that case, we can assume that this is unanimously accepted.
On behalf of the Carnival Committee, we're eternally grateful to the support that Sedgemoor show us throughout the year and have done for such a long time. We do see Sedgemoor as a permanent partner of the Carnival, and all our successes are down to the support from the council and other organisations such as yourselves. We will indeed keep you abreast of the progress, and once all the equipment's in place, we will provide you with some photographs, and perhaps we can look at getting some publicity for both yourselves and us from this partnership. It's much appreciated.
Thank you. In fact, we also appreciate the existence of all the work that so many volunteers put into this, because it is a prestigious occasion. And it makes the name of Sedgemoor and Somerset known way beyond our boundaries. So thank you. And if you would like to stay and observe the rest of the programme, you're very welcome to do so.
Many thanks.
Thank you. Now we revert back to the running order. The next item for consideration is the Escape Support Group. Or have I missed one?
Have we got new St George's New Town Hall?
Oh, St George's, sorry. Yeah,
Page
St George's 9. Is the next one. St George's New Town Hall. Emmeline, could you lead us through this one, please?
Yeah. So St George's New Town Hall, they are looking to update a very old and dated heating system, along with other projects that they'll be doing, but they've come to the committee today, particularly in connection with this. They've recently installed a combi boiler and have been advised to change the radiators as they are old, and the reason actually that the boiler broke down itself. The building consists of single brick constructure. This makes it difficult to keep the heat in, as the building is relatively empty. They need a new roof, as you'll be able to see from the information, and windows, but the costings for this one is particularly around the heating, as I mentioned. We have several groups who hire the hall on a weekly basis. These groups may mainly consist of individuals over the age of 65 or under 4, and therefore struggle when the building is cold. The beneficiaries of the group of this will be those groups that attend, which of course will then help them with their funding to keep the hall going.
Thank you. Members, do you have any questions for Emmeline? Charlie.
Thank you, Chair. Emmeline, just a couple of clarifications. I'm not familiar with where this is or the organisation. Who actually owns the hall, firstly, and secondly, on the beneficiaries, how many people use the hall in a week?
Right. I will need to look into that for you. If you bear with me, I'll have a look at the details.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I couldn't quite work out if it's a church hall or a community hall or what it is. Maybe somebody else knows the area.
It's a general hall, and I think that the application, it talks about a number of groups: folk dance, karate club, elderly ladies group, 2 carnival clubs, rehearse there. So it's a bit like a church hall, Charlie, I think.
But is it owned by the church? Do you know?
Sorry, it's like a church hall, but not church.
Oh, right. Okay. No problem then. Yeah. Okay. No problem.
Well, owned and managed by trustees, one would assume.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I don't have any real issues. It obviously going forward they're going to have continual problems with insulation, but that's the only slight downer on this.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for Emmeline? No.
I'll just jump in on the number side of things. They haven't detailed the exact number of individuals that use it, but as Councillor Lee Redmond pointed out, there are several groups that will use it weekly as well, if that helps.
Usually on average, when it's like that, it could add up to several hundred per week, spread over the 7 days. And that would not include special private bookings for special family events. Now, the request is for 2,500. If there are no further questions, may I have a proposer? Charlie. And may I have a seconder for this one? Oh, Alan Matthews, thank you very much. If there are no further points of clarification, are there any dissenters or abstentions? No. In which case, the assumption is that every member is satisfied. This is a unanimous agreement that they should receive £2,500. Thank you. If you let the applicants know, then they can get on with their ordering, etc. The next one is the Escape Support Group. And this is a very sensitive and necessary subject, and they are asking for just over £1,000. Emmeline, if you've had contact with them, so could you please lead us through this?
So we have had applications from Escape previously. This particular one is for an organised event that will be happening imminently on the 1st of August. They are planning to hire out some paddleboards, canoes, kayaks and twin kayaks and pedlos from the Somerset Boat Centre. It's an arranged trip, so really to organise some respite for those that are supporting a child with disabilities. It will be a social engagement within those families and that family networking group as well. It's just to enable those siblings that haven't maybe got an opportunity to do things while their disabled sibling have got other things to do, or they are unable to attend events, and it's an opportunity and an experience for the entire family to join in on.
Thank you. And that really says it all, including the very necessary social need. Are there any questions for Emmeline about the detail of this proposal? No. In which case, I would like to propose this from the chair, that we accept the proposal for £1,028.72. May I have a seconder, please? Please, seconder. Thank you, Alan. Does anyone wish to dissent or abstain from this proposal? No. In which case, this is unanimously agreed. And if you would let them know, then they have got no further doubt or stress or worries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair.
That actually is all that we've got today. I was quite shocked. You will note from the beginning of the agenda that we started off today at just under £39,500 in the kitty. Today's allocations are just over £5,000, so that brings that down to in the region of 34,000, give or take. That's still a fair amount of money that we need to get rid of before the end of this financial year and our life expectancy. Because it wouldn't do to send it back to Taunton. But we're going to put something together for Steve to put out with the members' bulletin on Friday to try and encourage all members every member is obviously involved with so many voluntary groups. Get the applications in, please. The next item is really just for information. It's the Rlt2 funding. The table is here with what's left. Not much difference to what we had before. And the applications of what's gone or pending. If there are any questions about that, could you send them out of the meeting to Emmeline, and perhaps a written reply can be circulated to all members afterwards. Well, there's probably one of the briskest meetings on record. Oh, Graham, so I didn't see your hand up. I just saw your picture.
No problem. Thank you, Chair. Regarding the RLT2 funding, I know that one of our members here represents a ward that has some plans for using up their RLT2 funding. And Polly, I've had a few. I've asked my parish councils that don't have an outlet for spending it themselves, whether they would be minded to gift it to Wedmore. But two questions come out from that. One of them is I wonder if you could tell me what the plans are, because they want to know, of course, what it's being spent on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then secondly, I think sort of a more of an operational query of how that money is transferred. And of course, there are clearly going to be other parish councils, or there are going to be other parishes around Sedgemoor that look as though they're going to end the financial year with money still in the kitty to spend, because they've got no outlet. So what is the project, and what is the physical process of transferring the funds to Wedmore if they feel so minded?
So the plan is, with one of the developments that came here, they were going to provide a leap, so a locally equipped area of play, and they were going to put the minimum amount of equipment into it. Obviously, the planning application went on and on and on, and they've finally finished. It's been trundling on for about 6 years. Now, I wasn't happy because they wanted to do charge a service charge to the people who lived on site to maintain their play area, which would have then felt non-inclusive to the rest of the community, because if you're paying a charge to have it looked after, well, you don't want all the kids in the village coming to play on it. So to me, that seemed a really wrong thing to do for a developer to come here and then create a little play area and not let any of the kids on it. So Wedmore Parish Council own all their play areas in the parish. So we've got Thiel, Blackford, and a smaller one up by the recreation ground, which all the play areas have got equipment for kids, but only up to the age of probably 11, 12 maybe. And so there's nothing for teenagers to do. And I've always been kind of quite stunned that this community hasn't ever provided anything for its kids, older kids, to do. They can go to Cheddar to the skate park and stuff, but you have to get them there physically, because there obviously aren't any bus links particularly. So I thought, well, this is one chance with a developer coming here and raking a load of money from us to create a teenage play area. So we got negotiated that we would take ownership of the land. So they've created a leap, which I got a bit of equipment change because they only were putting in the cheapest and not the greatest equipment. So changed some of that. So we've got a zip wire and some goal ends and a basketball hoop. And then the rest of the public outdoor space, which is quite a good area, it's probably 1.5 acres, was just going to be left as a space. So I thought to myself, well, why don't we negotiate? I negotiated to get the rest of the public outdoor space. We'd own the whole thing once they finished on site and I signed it off. And then we could add equipment once the parish council took ownership of it. So I've had meetings with play area companies and skate park companies and pump track companies, and I've come up with a really nice plan to put in a pump track and about 6 other pieces of teenage play equipment, but any kids can really play on it, but it's meant to be more interactive for older kids. And now they do things that because not all girls want to scoot and do things like that. So it's kind of helping all children, giving them all something to do. It's been designed so that one of the climbing areas can look down a bit on the skate park so they can sit and watch. It was really important to get them out off their gadgets and out and about doing something, and not being up in the woods and setting fire to aerosols and that kind of thing, because believe it or not, that does happen here. So yeah, I wanted to create something great. I thought this is the only opportunity. So we set up a play area committee called WPAA, Wedmore Play Area Association, just a group of volunteers. And yeah, so I've got the plans, which I can send to you all, which I will send to you all after this. Got the plans drawn up, I've got the space sorted out. So we've got the leap that's there already set up from the developers, but I need to add to it. Now the quote they've come up with, we're using Wicksteed. They've been really thorough, and they were the only company who would provide all the play area equipment as well as the pump track. So it's going to be a tarmac pump track where people can scoot, skate, all those that cycle, do all that kind of stuff. So all ages can use it, up to adults.
Can I come in here, Polly?
Yeah, do.
When we had a very brief think about this before the meeting, is it possible for you simply to give us the full details plus any costings?
Yeah.
If you could send it to Emmeline and myself and to Dorothy.
But hopefully Emmeline's seen it, because I've already got the Wedmore RLT2 money out the pot, so to speak.
No, the aspect is because of asking other parishes who are not going to use theirs if it can be wired to you. And then once we've got the whole picture and the rationale as to why the question is, can we via other people's money to you if they don't want to use it, we need to pass that through the legal process first.
Okay.
And assess whether or not this should go to executive or whether we have enough delegated powers of our own.
Okay. Well, I happily see, Brian.
Yes.
Graham's other questions was, I don't know how it happens. So I did have an email from Janet earlier just saying, we need to find out how this happens, like whether it goes to executive or whether the officers can make that decision, because it would be terribly sad. I mean, I know there'll be some councils who'll probably just go, oh, we don't want to give Wedmore any money because they're all posh and got loads of money up there, which actually isn't the case. But it's far better to put money towards a project for kids in Sedgemoor to benefit from than giving it back to a developer. So
yes, because if it goes back to Taunton, we don't know if it'll ever come back this way again.
Well, exactly, and that's that, and that would be a tragedy. So that's what I was going to try and do, to see if we can scoop it up and put it into a project.
Rob Semple, you have your hand up?
Just cutting out one middle person. Emmeline doesn't deal with RLT2 or RLT3. You need to go to Lizzie Bull or Scott Mason. So rather than copy Emmeline in, otherwise you're just going to creating an extra person to pass
But you know,
on.
that's quite funny you say that, because when I asked Scott and Lizzie about it, they told me to get hold of Emmeline, and Emmeline told me to get hold of them. So no one seems to be picking it up.
For RLT?
Yeah, no one seems to be wanting to deal with the fact that we're trying to get as many funds as we can.
Yeah, I mean, certainly it's not something our team deal with at all. So it's RLT2 or RLT3 is through the Parks Department.
Hand it back to Scott.
We've never dealt with that. And I'll message him now and tell him.
Well, I'll
Thank you.
happily get in touch because he's helped me throughout the process with coming on site a lot to look at what we could do. So he's been really helpful.
Dorothy, you're indicating you would like to add something.
Thank you. I was just going to say, if I am party to a recipient to the application, I'll push it through because I've got questions. I've already got a preliminary view of what I think the process is, but rather than bore you all rigid, I'm going to put it through Mel or Steve, just to be sure that we've got an agreed line, and then we can take it from there.
Okay. So okay, I'll touch base with you guys about that then, and Scott, and see. But fingers crossed, if people can't use it, then hopefully we can scoop it up and not waste it.
If someone can't use it, I don't think they have any right to say nobody else can.
Well, I think that would be.
And I mean, that's just my point of view.
Pretty sad
it may
if
not
they
be a
did.
legal point of view.
Yeah, exactly.
Rob,
Super.
did you want to come back?
No, legacy.
Thank you.
Thank you,
are
Chair.
there any other matters to do with any of today's agenda that members would like to discuss? No. Well, in that case, with there being no further business, thank you all very much for your attendance. I declare the meeting closed at 3:01. Thank you and goodbye.